back. Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum Coors Super Fights Championship Kickboxing. And we have an 8-rounder here for the Northeast Light Heavyweight Kickboxing Championship between Ian Jacklin and John Kenny. And we will go up to our ring announcer, Peter Neglia.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an 8-round bout in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner from Ontario, Canada. He is 21 years old, stands 6 foot 2 inches tall, and weighed in at 168 pounds. He has a kickboxing record of 10 wins, 2 losses with 3 knockouts. Welcome, please, Ian Jacklin. And in the red corner, from Brooklyn, New York, he is 26 years old, stands 6 feet tall, and weighed in at 161 pounds. He has a kickboxing record of 15 wins, 2 losses with 7 knockouts. Welcome, John Kenny!
Well, John, they told us when we came here that John Kenny was a crowd favorite, and they weren't kidding, were they?
He's got about half of Brooklyn is here, I think.
I'll tell you.
John Kenny.
This goes to knock down the 2 white corners and neutral corners. I want all kicks and punches above the waist. Chief Seconds, I hold you responsible for the conduct of your fighters. Everybody knows the rules. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Touch up, return to your corner, protect yourself at all times.
We have a new referee. That's Fred Coratone there.
You see Jacklin there, 21 years old. Kenny at 26. Jacklin 168. He's got a 7-pound advantage over Kenny and a 2-inch reach advantage, but he doesn't have quite the experience. 10-2-0, 15-2. Both fighters, though, have good records coming in. Both are experienced. This should be a good one.
Well, here we go. 8 rounds of the Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship. In the white, John Kenny. He will be the guy who gets all the cheers. In the purple, Ian Jacklin.
Ian Jacklin from London, Ontario. Down here from Canada. He's had a good record. He's got some good people with him. Jimmy Fields and Ron Day is his manager up there. They do a good job, as we see.
Nice
John
work
Kenny.
by Jacklin there, getting away from that.
Yeah, John Kenny tried to peg him out from center field there and missed with that right hand.
Jacklin looking as though he's pretty good with his hands. Haven't seen much of kicking yet. Jacklin in the purple, John Kenny in the white. Kind of wild there.
Kenny does look a little bit wild. He is throwing kind of from way out. Boy, he's got bad intentions on every one of those, though. He is throwing them hard.
He does for a fact. Ian Jacklin there with a good right hand. Jacklin looks like he's done a lot of work in the boxing gym here. Good hands, and the kicks look pretty good, too, as a matter of fact.
Kicks look great, I tell you. He's got a good front leg. I'm very impressed with Ian Jacklin. Oh, he ducked into a knee, though.
His eyes are clear, though. It looks to be okay. Ian Jacklin in the purple continues the advance. Doesn't appear to have been hurt by any of that. Counters with a good left, and John Kenny takes a left and a right, and another left.
Well, that was a close call there for Ian Jacklin because he ducked down and caught a shin coming in from Kenny. It wasn't an illegal kick by any stretch, but he almost ducked into it and kept his hands up, and that really saved him.
Again, Kenny with the wild left takes 2 good shots from Jacklin. Those kicks really didn't do much. The crowd reacting because Kenny is the hometown favorite. Ian Jacklin right now looking very good in the purple. John Kenny in the white.
We're seeing really a much more sophisticated kicking attack out of Ian Jacklin. He's using a variety of kicking skills. Kenny, on the other hand, is basically throwing a lot of front kicks and trying to land the big boom.
Everybody has something to hide.
Something secret, exciting,
Very private.
romantic phone confession.
I like to listen because nobody knows I'm there. You can listen too. 1-900-500-4500. Calls are only $5, less than $1 per minute, for adults only.
Listen to America's hottest confession.
Go ahead. You'll feel better.
John Losey.
Allison will be joined in
Hugh Malay.
some of that rust off the star that seems to follow Sugar Ray Leonard around. The Arizona Wildcats
George Siegel.
ranked number 4 in the country. Now they won the preseason. Well, if the NBA
Dan
Eastern
Walker.
Conference is not what it usually is, and it's because of all the injuries.
Having been eliminated
Sherry Greenberg. Scores, highlights, exclusive features, the FNN Sports Team.
we're looking at John Kinney, and he's, of course, the hometown favorite, a local favorite, but you have to wonder about this Ian Jacklin kid. If Ian Jacklin can do that for 8 rounds, John Kinney is going to be hard-pressed.
It was a real good round for Ian Jacklin. John Kinney's a little bit tight as he came out here. This crowd up there, he's all excited with all these crowd cheers, a good left, he misses with the right. He's really been the aggressor, as we see, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to chase a guy around the ring and throw stuff. There's that knee that almost landed. It was a real good job then of keeping the hands up on Ian Jacklin's fault.
And again, Jacklin there took a little bit of that on the glove, and we see it again, and it looks as though Jacklin didn't really get much damage out of that at all.
No, he managed to make it right there. Well, it's dangerous to duck into those kind of things coming up.
Could have been bad.
Could have been real bad.
And as we look at Ian Jacklin now in the corner. Round number 2, scheduled 8 for the Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship. Ian Jacklin in the purple and John Kinney in the white. John Kinney will get, as we say, a lot of crowd response. Comes in wild and takes 3 or 4 unanswered shots from Ian Jacklin. Jacklin covering well. Kinney, a very aggressive fighter. Kinney, a very strong fighter, but he gets in the corner and takes a few. Some of those got around and between the gloves. Jacklin doing well with this brawler, takes a couple there. And John Kinney, with the crowd behind him, more of a street fighter than anything else, John.
I'll tell you, he is just slinging everything in there as hard as he can. Basic kicks, basic punches. The punches are coming a little bit wide, but the actual force and strength of those punches is just kind of blowing Ian Jacklin around the ring. Jacklin still, though, very, very sharp, very contained, a much more polished-looking fighter at this point.
Jacklin has landed 3, 4, 5, 6 unanswered punches now. They don't seem to have hurt Kinney by any stretch of the imagination. Kinney takes the kick, and he is down. That was no slip. Good side kick right into the sternum.
Once again, Jacklin showing that good front leg side kick. That's going to beat a back leg like that. You see those kicks, really, he's just kind of slinging them up there. That back leg or that front leg side kick will get in there and stop it. That's what you need to do.
And Jacklin now is on the offensive. Good kick, 3, 4 good punches there. And Kinney slowing down his aggression just a little bit. Just under 20 seconds left in this round 2 as Kinney takes 3 more.
Well, Kinney's just trying to get inside and throw something really big and strong and hard.
And Jacklin is scoring on the corner. Jacklin is scoring heavily as we come to the end of round 2.
Standing 8 count. That's a second 8 count.
These lovely young women are waiting to meet you, and they want to talk live, in private, 1-to-1.
It's easy. All you have to do...
Get personal. Get intimate. Talk live to America's most beautiful women.
Let's get together tonight.
$2.50 per minute, 10-minute minimum, for adults only. Pick up your phone now and start an exciting 1-to-1 relationship.
I never saw anybody light up a bar like Jack.
You can say that again.
He had 1 million jokes.
2 million.
Oh, what a riot.
Oh, yeah.
One of a kind.
No kidding.
I swear, if I thought he couldn't drive, I'd have said something. You know? I mean, how could you spoil his fun?
Right.
Take the keys. Call a cab. Take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Well, the crowd not at all bashful in their response to John Kinney, but bottom line here is that John Kinney took most of it in the second round.
Grab that piece of
Oh, man. John Kinney has a good record here, and he's obviously beaten most of his people with aggression, but we're seeing right now Ian Jacklin is showing nice, sharp boxing skills, good kicks, and Kinney very confused right now. He's just trying to lay back and maybe see what he can hit this guy with, and he hasn't been able to hit him with much of anything.
He's taken a good bit, though, and that's a fact. John Kinney had best get after it if he's going to win this fight. How do you have it scored so far, John?
I've got Ian Jacklin ahead by 2 points after the second round, 20-18. That's a big lead.
It is. Ian Jacklin does not look like he is slowing down any either. John Kinney, on the other hand, in the corner, is looking a little bit ragged and a little bit tired, frankly, John.
Well, Lou Neglia, his trainer over there.
And we start here at Madison Square Garden, round 3, scheduled 8. This is for the Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship. In the purple with a good snapping round kick there. Ian Jacklin. In the white, the hometown favorite here, John Kenny. A wild, brawling fighter who has so far been on the short end, as he is there with 4-5 unanswered punches. John Kenny looks to be the stronger of the two, but at the moment he is backing up. Takes a good front side kick, and now the referee jumps in, calling a standing 8 count, and you wonder about that call, John. You wonder if that was just a little bit too soon.
He stopped the time because we had a corner pad that came off on the ring here. That's really an unfortunate thing for Ian Jacklin, because he had Kenny in some trouble, and they had to stop the time in order to retie the corner pad. Makes you wonder.
Well, you have to be safe above all things. It is a very unfortunate situation for Ian Jacklin. By the same token, you can hear the crowd now in the background shouting, Kenny, 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 wanting to get him up. Ian Jacklin's over there pounding his gloves together like he wants to get it on too.
I tell you,
the crowd clearly behind Kenny.
Thus far, I've been awfully impressed with Ian Jacklin. He's got 10 wins. I don't know where he had 2 losses, but he has looked really sharp here. Excellent kicking skills, great flexibility. He shows a great variety of kicks, and good, strong punching skills and good boxing skills.
And for all this work in round 3, as you look at Ian Jacklin, does not appear to be winded whatsoever. John Kenny, on the other hand, when we get a shot of him, you will see that there he's looking a little ragged, looking a little tired. Some of that puffy face, some of it may have to do with the hairstyle too, makes him look a little bit more ragged, but the fact of the matter is he's got a little puffiness around his eyes there. He's been taking a lot in this fight.
Well, if anybody's going to benefit from this stop in the time, it's going to be John Kenny, because he was in some trouble at the back at that 3rd round, and see Ian Jacklin looks like he's ready to get to it.
And we're back with time in now. Corner pad securely back in place. Ian Jacklin picks it right back up. Kenny starts to brawl. That rest did him some good, but he takes 5 unanswered punches, a good round kick to the ribs. Kenny brawling in, but he is catching the bad work as he comes in. Ian Jacklin, John, as you say, a very impressive fighter here tonight. Back leg round kick and a right hand behind it. There are 3-4 punches unanswered by Jacklin. Now 7, 8. And again, John Kenny backing up. Crowd or no crowd, he's taking it, John.
John Kenny's starting to look like a heavy bag. You know, he's standing there, and you can see Kenny just working, or rather Jacklin just working hand combinations all up and down his body and head.
Good left kick, left leg kick to the jaw, and 3 or 4 punches behind it. And Ian Jacklin clearly in control of this fight. The puncher's chance, of course, to John Kenny, because he is so much of a brawler and obviously a strong and a very tough kid.
You can't win fights by standing there and taking punches, and he can't do it that way. He's got to land something. He really has to start throwing more stuff, but he really, I can understand why he doesn't want to throw stuff, because he keeps getting hit by kicks when he does.
And those punches are landing to John Kenny.
You can see how wide the punches from John Kenny are.
Do you need to talk something over? Something important, but very private. Something only a woman understands. Call 1-on-1. Live. It's not a dating line. It's not a party line. It's a woman's point of view. 1-on-1.
$2.50 per minute, 10-minute minimum. For adults only.
Let's talk about it.
Now, how'd you like to make a bet? If you like living it up in places like Atlantic City and Las Vegas, I bet this Players Club card will save you big. In places like the Sands, Atlantic City, and the Riviera, Las Vegas, up to 60% less on hotel rooms, 50% less for shows, and always 25% less for meals and drinks. So call Players Club now. Players Club, it's a sure thing.
New members get 2 free nights in Las Vegas or Atlantic City when the club books their flights. Call toll-free now.
Look there at John Kenny. You can see around his eyes and cheeks a little puffiness. His nose looks to be a little bit puffed up too.
Once again, round kick smack right there.
That would account for it, wouldn't it?
It would.
We're starting round 4, scheduled 8. Ian Jacklin in the purple. John Kenny, the hometown favorite, in the white, and he is taking so far in this fight. John, how do you have it scored? Oh, there's a kick. And John Kenny down from that kick. It was a side kick into the chest.
That was a knockdown, and I've got Ian Jacklin up by 30 to 27 at this point.
And so far, we're in the 4th round. That does not bode well for John Kenny, who is already looking tired. Took that one on his gloves, but takes the resultant 4 punches. And now the aggression from Kenny as Kenny starts to throw. Kenny with the kick, and the crowd feeding John Kenny. None of those punches are doing hardly anything at all. Ian Jacklin covering nicely, but John Kenny has the crowd behind him, and it sounds a lot better for Kenny than it really is.
Kenny threw a lot of stuff, but you're right, Dan, not a lot landed. And now he's tired a little bit, and Jacklin has got him back in the ropes and just tinging and tanging on him.
And John Kenny is taking, and he is getting hit hard by Ian Jacklin in that corner. Jacklin's punches are straighter, they're more controlled, and they are landing between and around the gloves.
I've got to give John Kenny a lot of credit. He is one tough customer because he has taken a tremendous amount of punches and kicks, and he's still in the fight. He doesn't look like he's been hurt yet.
Good side kick into the ribs there. That's the first good punch of the night, I think, from John Kenny into the face of Ian Jacklin. Jacklin doesn't even blink. Right hand there on the forehead. 5 in a row.
Good combination again by Jacklin. These are the kind of fights that you look for if you're Jacklin. I mean, you've got a guy that's going to make you work. He's going to throw a lot of hard stuff, but he stands there and lets you hit him. That's really what this is all about. These guys get a lot of experience in this kind of a fight.
And he comes in. If John Kenny does nothing else in his life, he likes to come in. He is not coming in now because it hurts, but usually he will come in, and that's tailor-made for a fighter like Jacklin. That's 7, 8, 9 unanswered punches. As we come down to the end of round 4, it hasn't changed for John Kenny at all.
Johnny, jab, 1, 2, jab, 1, 2, 1, 2. Johnny, 1, 2, 1, 2. Follow.
Would you like to get to know me better? If the answer is yes, then let's do it. It's easy. All you have to do is call. We can share intimate secrets.
It's easy to meet exciting, gorgeous single girls. $2.50 per minute, 10-minute minimum. For adults only.
I'm all alone, and I'm waiting for you to call. Let's get together tonight. Just you and me.
The show did go on, and what a show it was. 82 shots. One game on the NBA schedule today, matching 2 teams that are...
What you see is what you get. Get on soccer, and although our thoughts are with the Persian Gulf War, we've got...
Who was the pitcher when Jerry Grody's...
Your head's not screwed on right.
Races home, beats the throw.
And she will go long with that volley, and that is it. Myers is going to miss
over the American...
Sports News, no waiting on FNN Sports. Start now, round 5, scheduled 8. This is for the Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship. John Kenny in white, the hometown favorite. Ian Jacklin in the purple. John, how do you have it scored at this point?
I've got Jacklin ahead, 40 to 36.5. Oh, I tell you, he's just showing such class here, just such clean technique.
Dan Walker along with John Worley as we're looking at Coors Super Fights Championship Boxing in a dandy fight. Here we have with Ian Jacklin landing most of the blows. So clean, so precise, such good form by Ian Jacklin. John Kenny, the brawler, just does not have room to do his thing. A little bit of a mouse under the left eye. There's a left hook by John Kenny. A mouse under the eye of Kenny, under his right eye. That'll be called a slip.
Referee Fred Cortone doing a good job of letting these guys get out there and throw their stuff. He's really not a factor, which is what you want to see from a referee.
Exactly.
He's always there. He's there when he needs to be, but he doesn't really affect the outcome of the fight.
And again, it is just Ian Jacklin moving around with John Kenny and picking and sniping and hitting and kicking, and that's the game. 3-punch, 4-punch, 5-punch, takes a left hook, does Jacklin, but not as effective anymore. I don't think there's any steam left in John Kenny. The punches are wide, and they're not really doing much damage.
They've always been wide. This whole fight, he's thrown his punches wide, but he's still a very strong young man in his upper body. He's throwing them in there. They're pretty heavy, but I don't think they have quite as much snap on as they had earlier in the fight.
If we get a chance to look at the face of John Kenny, you'll see under his left eye a little bit of a mouse there. As we watch this fight, it's not hard to tell why. Ian Jacklin, the aggressor. John Kenny, who prefers to be coming in, is dancing and moving. And as we come down to the end of round 5, I gotta tell you, this is getting to be a long fight for John Kenny.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, come closer, closer. I've been waiting to hear from you. Why not call the Singles Connection right now and get in touch with America's hottest singles?
The Singles Connection, 1-900-500-7575. Calls cost only $5. Stay on the line as long as you like for adults over 18.
Let's get personal right away. Call the Singles Connection now. You never know where it might lead. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
If you're an employer, we know how tough it is when your National Guard and Reserve employees are gone. But it's even tougher for them. Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
Round 6, scheduled 8. And John Worley, what does your unofficial scorecard tell us now?
I've got Jacklin up by 4 points, 50-46. Really is doing a masterful job right now. And I'll tell you what, John Kenny started out this fight with the kind of style that gives a lot of people trouble.
John Kenny, 3 fairly good shots in there. Jacklin dances out of the way. Very good at avoiding the rushes and very good at not getting into the brawling style that John Kenny wants. Ian Jacklin, the purple, John Kenny, the white. 4 punches.
Good, straight, sharp, crisp punches. That's the way you're supposed to do it, folks. All you young guys out there watching, watch this guy Jacklin, because this is the way you're supposed to do it.
It's picture book is what it is. It's picture book. Ian Jacklin, the purple. That round kick taken on the elbow by John Kenny.
Kicks up, fellas, kicks up.
As I was going to say a little earlier, Kenny started out this fight with tremendous aggressiveness and a lot of strength, and a less poised fighter would go down from that. And we see his record, 15 wins, 2 losses. We know that he has scared a lot of people with that type of a style.
And obviously Ian Jackson takes a left there. Ian Jackson has been in with some pretty good fighters, not to have wilted underneath that. Ian Jacklin, the aggressor, again, doing all the work.
You notice Jacklin is really not loading up when he gets in there like that. He just kind of pitter-pats and scores points. He's not trying to knock Kenny out. I think he probably figures this guy's real tough and can take a lot of punishment. I'm not going to knock him out with one big shot. I may wear him out and wear him down and score it that way.
Well, we're almost at the end now, round 6.
Hi. I've been expecting your call.
Now you can get in touch with America's hottest and most eligible singles.
Call Phone Friends right now and get connected.
Call Phone Friends at 1-900-500-2400. Calls only cost $5 for adults over 18.
Let's become phone friends tonight. Come on, you'll never know unless you call. Phone Friends gets you connected.
Now, how'd you like to make a bet? If you like living it up in places like Atlantic City and Las Vegas, I bet this Players Club card will save you big. In places like the Sands, Atlantic City, and the Riviera, Las Vegas, up to 60% less on hotel rooms, 50% less for shows, and always 25% less for meals and drinks. So call Players Club now. Players Club, it's a sure thing.
New members get 2 free nights in Las Vegas or Atlantic City when the club books their flights. Call toll-free now.
Kid John, very impressive.
7. There you see him in the corner now. He's just kind of pap, looking for targets. He's not wasting a thing. He's hitting open targets every time. If Oral Hirschheiser was a kickboxer, he'd look like this.
Exactly. That's a great analogy.
Step back, boys.
Round 7, scheduled 8, Madison Square Garden, the Feld Forum. Dan Walker, John Worley on Coors Super Fights. This is for the Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship. Ian Jacklin in the purple, doing most of the punching. John Kenny in the white, taking most of the punches.
Let's go. Fight.
And the kicks. It has not been a good afternoon for John Kenny so far.
Well, John Kenny will beat a lot of fighters. I mean, if he loses this fight, that's not going to say anything really negative about his career. Other than he's going to have a tough time with good technicians like Ian Jacklin. There aren't that many good technicians like Ian Jacklin. You see Ian Jacklin, it reminds you a little bit of the Rick Rufus and John Longstreets of the world. They're about that same weight division, and this guy at 21 years old might be, with a few more fights, someone that could get in there and give those guys a good fight.
Absolutely. John Kenny, you know, it's a matter of styles here. John Kenny's style is perfect for Jacklin, and Jacklin's style is exactly what you do not want to be fighting if you're a John Kenny.
I tell you what, I don't know what style it is that beats this kind of technical skill. It's tough to beat this kind of ability. I think that you have to be so strong you can walk through a lot of it. If I had to say anything about Jacklin, he doesn't seem to be a real power puncher. He's not a really super strong knockout guy.
Then again, when you watch him, you see all the punches, they add up, and they snap John Kenny's head around. I wonder if it's not a matter of not so much the lack of power on Ian Jacklin's part as much as the fact that, as you said earlier, John Kenny is a very tough dude. Takes a hard right there and another one. Stops him in his tracks. Now Jacklin takes a couple, ducks away. John Kenny, I think, too tired to do much about it at this point.
And for the first time, John Kenny is showing a little bit of fatigue himself, and this is the first time we've seen this.
Well, after 7 rounds of this, it's not hard to understand either. I'll tell you, John, through this fight here, we've gone through 7 rounds. I have to tell you, I have seen this Ian Jacklin throwing 3-punch, 5-punch, and 7-punch combinations that are just textbook.
He really has. As I say, he doesn't appear to be a real power guy, and that could be a problem for him. But at 21 years of age, he's going to get stronger. He's certainly not a mature man yet, so his strength is going to increase, and his power punching is going to get better.
Just for the record, how do you have it scored at this point?
I've got Jacklin ahead 70 to 64.5. It's starting to get to be really a lopsided, one-sided type of an affair here. Kenny is just really, I don't think, can score the knockout now. I don't think he's got the power. He's just too tired. His punches are real wide. But he's going to do fine. He gets back in the gym, tightens those hands up a little bit, works on his kicks a little bit. He's going to be great.
Well, the crowd still certainly loves him. As we look at Ian Jacklin, the crowd still loves John Kenny. They're cheering for him now, trying to get him up, tell him to go for that last round knockout. Madison Square Garden, the Felt Forum, 8th and final round for the Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship. Coors Super Fights Championship Kickboxing. Ian Jacklin, 7 unanswered punches. Jacklin in the purple throws the good side kick and 3 more punches. John Kenny in the white taking. That'll be called a slip, more of a trip than anything.
A little more of a takedown there, yeah. Reverted to some, I tell you, he just waded in with that right hand, missed.
It looks as though Ian Jacklin, where he could be, you got to give him credit, he could be out dancing right now and just staying away from it. It looks like he wants to try for the knockout here at the 8th round. Ian Jacklin way ahead, takes a couple there.
This is the best round that Kenny's had for a while as far as really coming in and pushing the action. He's trying to finish strong. You have to give him credit. But he just keeps running into such good stuff like that front kick from Ian Jacklin.
Boy, that was a dandy, and the 3, 4-punch, 5-punch combination behind it. Every one of those punches scored on John Kenny. Ian Jacklin, look at him, just terrific.
Kicks up.
That's what they were thinking of when they invented this sport, John. That technique.
Well, you know, I really don't want to come on too strong for a guy that's had only 12 fights and 10 wins, but I think we do see a star being born here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way you can come on too strong for this performance. I mean, he's done everything he's had to do right here in front of us. We should point out that John Kenny is not Rick Rufus either.
That's true. One real problem they have in Canada, they have a lot of problem up there as far as scheduling events. There's a lot of government interventions, very expensive to promote fights, and that's been a problem for Ian Jacklin. He'd be fighting a lot more frequently otherwise.
Well, this fight is just about to become history. And we come to the end of this fight, an 8-rounder for the Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship, and unless we are at considerable odds with the judges, There is very little question about who will win. A magnificent performance by Ian Jacklin. By the same token, you give John Kinney credit. He got hit an awful lot. He got kicked a lot more. He did not go down, and frankly did not really ever appear to be close to going down. A very, very tough young man is John Kinney.
As we watch coming up here, again, Jacklin's kicking skills, he's going to move in there and try to set Kinney up a little bit, moving into the corner, steps in with that nice hook kick, boom, right over the top, catches the chin. I tell you, that's the way you're supposed to do it. And then moves right on top of that, doesn't let the pressure off, keeps the hands on top.
And there's a guy standing in the corner of Ian Jacklin who, if you can see him there, looks enough like him to be his older brother, maybe even a twin. And we get a chance to see that, we will. And he looks to be in pretty good shape. You wonder if he's there. You have him see him right there in the background. You wonder if he's not a fighter, too. Maybe there's a whole family of these guys up in Canada, John.
I don't know.
Well, the crowd responding as these fighters put on a great show here in Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum. Coors Super Fights, happy to bring it to you. And we are just about to get the decision in this Northeast Light Heavyweight Championship match. And for that decision, we'll go up to our ring announcer, Peter Neglia.
Judge A scores the fight 78.5 to 69 points. Judge B scores the fight 78 to 68 points. Judge C scores the fight 79 points to 70 points. Winner by a unanimous decision, Ian Jacklin.
Well, no surprise at all. John, I wonder, though, if you look at the distance between the two scores, you almost wonder, does that seem maybe a little wide of a margin for you?
Well, if they took the 5 points off that he missed on his last round, then it should have been a wider margin than that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it did or didn't. That's the only thing. But if they had the 5 points added back in there, then that's about right.
Well, Ian Jacklin is the new Northeast Light Heavyweight Champion, and we'll be seeing more of him, I am sure, on future Coors Super Fights telecasts. We'll be back with more exciting action. Coors Super Fights from Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum.
Everybody has something to hide.
Something secret, exciting,
Very private.
romantic phone confessions.
I like to listen because nobody knows I'm there. You can listen too. 1-900-500-4500. Calls are only $5, less than $1 per minute, for adults only.
Listen to America's hottest confession.
Go ahead. You'll feel better.
John Losing,
95 miles per hour to earn the top spot. And Allison will be joined in.
Hugh Malay,
Some of that rust off his guard.